What's going on, Shinobi Faction? My name is Josh Williamson. So for this cooking video, I'm going to be trying another famous online recipe. I'm going to be trying Alvin Zhou's. I hope I'm pronouncing that name right. If I'm not, I apologize. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But I'm going to be trying his 100-hour brownie recipe. I saw it online a bunch of times, and I saw other people try it, and they said it was fantastic. So I have to try it. So I'm going to be going through what I do throughout the process, but I'm not going to be telling you all the, measurements or anything. What I'm going to do instead of putting them in the description box like I always do, I'm just going to put in the description box the link to the original video on Alvin's personal channel. He's from Tasty, first of all, if you guys didn't know. He has his own personal channel, and I'm gonna link the video to that in the description box in case you guys want to try this. You want the exact amount and ingredients. So let's get started. I'm starting off with making the brown butter. Now, I've made brown butter a few times on this channel. I actually have a brown butter brownies recipe in the past. If you want to check that out, go ahead, look back on my channel. But when you make brown butter, just keep the heat over medium, and once it starts bubbling vigorously, keep stirring so that none of the milk salts get stuck on the bottom of the pan. Alright, so now that I made the brown butter, I'm going to add the espresso powder. And you got to be careful when adding this. I'm going to add an ice cube that I made out of coffee. I'm going to drop it in. Be very careful when you add this because it's going to react. Watch. Because it's, mostly water, it's going to react with the butter because it's fat, and water and fat are not friends. But you still need to mix it in. Now I'm going to let this cool down to room temperature. Now I've got the eggs in a stand mixer. Now I'm going to add the sugar to that, and I'm going to add the vanilla bean paste. And I'm going to beat it until it forms a really thick pancake batter-like consistency. Now I'm sifting in the Dutch cocoa, the extra espresso powder, and the salt. Now I'm adding that brown butter. Now I'm adding in the melted milk dark chocolate. Now I'm going to sift in the all-purpose flour. Gently fold it in until it's just combined with the rest of the mixture. Don't want to overmix it. Now I'm going to pour in the chopped up milk and dark chocolate and fold that in with the batter. Now I'm going to pour it into my parchment paper lined 9x13 inch pan. And this batter smells amazing, by the way. I'm going to spread it all out to all the edges and corners. It's very thick, so it's going to be a bit tricky. Well, that was definitely the most difficult brownie batter I've ever spread. But anyways, what we're going to do now is top it with some more chopped up dark chocolate. Okay, and now this is probably the craziest part of the whole recipe. We're going to cover this tray in plastic wrap, or any way you can seal it at all, and we're going to put it in the refrigerator and leave it in for 72 hours. That's right, 3 whole days in the refrigerator. Apparently what this does is it gives time for all the ingredients that you mixed in to, really get to know each other and really, develop. Alright, so it's been 3 days now. So as you can see, the batter is now very, very hard because it's been in the fridge for that long. And so, yeah, that's how it is. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put this in the oven at 350 Fahrenheit or 180 Celsius for about 30 minutes. Now, I've seen people try this recipe, and the brownies did look very underdone when they pulled them out. And usually when you have brownies with a lot of chocolate in them, especially the fudgy kind of brownies, it's going to look underbaked in the middle at first. So I'm going to trust the process. Okay, so as you can see, it's kind of jiggling in the middle a bit. Yeah, it's looking very underdone, but I'm still going to trust the process because I saw another YouTuber do this, and she said that it looked incredibly raw like this when she took it out of the oven. But she still ended up, going through the cooling process and everything, and it still turned out good for her. So I'm going to do that. But anyways, what you want to do now, according to the recipe, is cover this entire pan in foil and put it in the freezer for 30 minutes and then put it in the refrigerator overnight, 24 hours at least. Okay, so it's finally time to cut into these brownies. Now, I'm going to do what Alvin did exactly in this video. I'm going to trim off all the edges. Matter of fact, this is a very unpopular opinion, but I actually am not a fan of crispy edges on my brownies. I don't really like it. And yes, if you're wondering, this is a brisket knife. I am using a brisket knife to cut these brownies. And my gosh, these smell amazing. And now I'm going to reheat some of the oven. Now, I'm not going to try all 3 of them on camera. I'm just reheating 2 more because I'm taking them to my parents at some point after this video is done recording. But I'm going to reheat them in the oven. He didn't specify, you know, any sort of temperature or time when he was reheating his brownie in the oven, but I looked up, and a good way it says to reheat a refrigerated brownie is by putting it in the oven at 250 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 120 degrees Celsius, for about 5 to 10 minutes. And that is what the final product looks like. It looks amazing. It smells so good. I can't wait to taste this. It is way too melty and messy for me to eat with my hands, so I got a fork out. My gosh, this is fudgy. Look at this. Wow. Alright, let's taste this. Moment of truth. Is it worth 100 hours making this? Oh my freaking gosh. Guys. Oh my. Hold on, I gotta go back in. That was, wow. Yeah, this may be the greatest brownie I've ever tasted in my life. That is absolutely, that is out of this freaking world. Wow. My gosh. First of all, obviously it is insanely rich and chocolatey and fudgy. But man, that has the best texture and the most, you know, intense flavor of any brownie I've ever tasted in my life. If you're wondering, the espresso flavor is not strong here. It's not strong at all, okay? It just makes the chocolate taste a lot more chocolatey, if you get what I mean. And you do taste a hint of it, but it's not in your face. It's very subtle. And final question, is it worth it? Yes, absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely it is worth spending 100 hours making these. And as I've said before, that is probably the greatest brownie I've ever tasted in my entire life. Hands freaking down. All credit to Alvin Zhou, or Zhou, however you pronounce his name. That was amazing. Good job, Alvin. But if you ever try this, leave it in the comment section down below and tell me what you thought, whether you liked it or hated it. If you liked it, you thumbs up, hates you, thumb it down. And be sure to click subscribe and come here to the GW faction on a journey to 10,000 subscribers. God loves you. See you later.